This video is for the part of you that is tired of overthinking. Your brain is telling you scary stories, but they are not true. Here are 10 truths to finally silence the worry and find peace. For more stories that calm your mind and teach you English, subscribe and press the bell to join us for every new lesson. Today, I want to talk to a special part of you. I want to speak directly to the part of you that feels tired. Just so tired. Tired of overthinking. Tired of imagining the worst things. Tired of not sleeping well at night. Tired of pretending. Pretending that everything is okay, when inside you know you're not okay. This isn't going to be just another motivational video. This is different. Think of this as a rescue mission. A rescue mission for your peace of mind. Because whether you're rich or poor, young or old, strong or broken, everyone worries. We all live with these invisible fears, don't we? We all carry those secret what-if questions in our heads. What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if something bad happens to my parents, my child, my career, or my health? What if I lose everything I love? And the hardest part, the worst part, is that even if you smile on the outside, inside your mind just keeps spinning. It spins and spins. It never shuts up. And slowly, it eats your life. But today, we end that cycle. Because this video is not just about understanding worry. It's about defeating it. It's about learning the art of worrying less and living more. And as we go through each truth, I think you'll feel it. You'll feel the weight in your chest slowly disappear. You'll feel your thoughts begin to slow down. You'll feel like you are in control again. And of course, this isn't just for your peace. This video will also help you learn English in a very powerful way. How? By listening. By listening deeply to real emotions, to stories, and to clear thoughts. So if you want to improve your English and improve your life, watch until the end. Give yourself this gift, the gift of peace. Because when your mind is calm, your life becomes clear. Let's begin. Truth 1. Most of what you worry about will never happen. All right, let's begin with truth number 1. It's a shocking truth. It's one that can instantly change your mind. Are you ready? Almost everything you are worrying about, right now, is not real. I don't just mean not important. I mean, it is not even real. Think about it. Go back to last week, or last month, or even last year. How many things did you spend hours and hours worrying about? How many of them actually happened? If you're like most people, the answer is almost none. This is a scientific fact. A study from Cornell University found that 85% of the things people worry about never happen. And the 15% that do happen? Most people said they handled it much better than they expected. So what does that mean for you? For us? It means worry is just your imagination, used against you. It's a movie your brain plays, and you believe it. Your brain shows you a breakup that hasn't happened, a rejection that hasn't happened, a failure that hasn't happened, a disaster that hasn't happened. And yet, you suffer. You suffer as if it's already happening. That is the trap. You are not reacting to your life. You are reacting to your imagination. Let me tell you a real story about Clara. Clara was 27 years old. She worked in a tech company in London, and every single day, she walked into her office with one heavy fear in her chest. She thought, I'm going to lose my job. She checked her emails 20 times a day. Every time her boss called her name, her heart started racing. Even when she did good work, her brain whispered to her, "They'll find a reason to fire you. You're not enough." She lost weight. She lost sleep. She lost her joy. She worried like this for 3 years straight. Then, one day, her boss called her into a meeting. Clara's heart stopped. She thought, "This is it. It's over. I'm finished." But the boss smiled, and he said, "Clara, we've been watching your performance. You are one of our most consistent and valuable employees. We are promoting you." 3 years of anxiety. Destroyed. In 1 minute. Clara cried in the bathroom. But she wasn't just crying because she was happy. She was crying because she realized how much of her life, how many years, she had wasted worrying about a future that never came. The lesson is this: worry steals your now because of a fake future. And what's even worse, you miss your actual life, while you are preparing for a pain that may never arrive. The people who love you are right in front of you. The opportunities are all around you, but you don't see them, because you are too busy preparing for pain. And what is worry, really? It's just your brain, trying to protect you. But you don't need to fear your thoughts. You need to see them as what they really are. They are just thoughts, not truth. Let's try a mini practice, a small thing you can do. The next time you feel that worry start to build, I want you to pause and say this to yourself. Is this happening right now, or am I just imagining it? Can I prove this is true, or am I just scared? And this one, right now, in this moment, am I safe? You'll realize something very powerful. In this exact moment, you are safe. The problem isn't real. The pain hasn't come. You are okay. Your brain is a beautiful machine, but it's not perfect. It tries to protect you even when you are not in danger. So now you know, most of what you worry about will never happen. Don't waste your only life trying to survive a future that is only a shadow. Breathe. You're safe. You're here. You're okay. Let's move forward and set your mind free. Truth 2. Worry is just a story, not a fact. Okay, let's go a little deeper now with truth number 2. Because once you truly understand this, really, truly understand it, your entire relationship with worry will change forever. Here it is. Worry is not a fact. It is just a story. It's a story that your mind tells you, and you believe it without question. So, what is a story? It's just a sentence. It's a thought. It's a what if. It's a scene your brain creates, with no evidence, but with full emotion. It sounds like this. What if they don't like me? What if I embarrass myself? What if I get sick? What if something bad happens? Each of those is a story. It is not a reality. It is not a fact. But here is the painful part. Your brain, it doesn't need truth. It only needs repetition. If you repeat a lie enough times, your body starts to believe it's real. That is how worry becomes your prison. Not because the future is scary, but because the story you've been telling yourself is terrifying. But here's the twist. The same mind that writes a scary story can also write a peaceful one. And that is where your power begins. You are not just the character in this scary story. You are also the author. You are the writer. And the moment you realize this, you can take the pen back from fear. You can write something else. Let me show you something. An example that will stay in your mind forever. Jonah was a young man who had never flown on a plane. Just thinking about flying, the idea of being in the sky inside a metal machine, it made his chest feel tight. He really thought he would die. He got invited to speak at a global event in Singapore. It was the biggest opportunity of his life. But he declined. He said no. Why? Because of a story. His mind said, what if the plane crashes? What if I panic? What if I scream and embarrass myself? What if I can't breathe? What if I never see my parents again? Every what if was a paragraph. Every thought was a chapter. Until it became a full book titled, This Flight Will Kill Me. But what though? None of it was true. There was no emergency. There was no danger. There was just a story, written by anxiety. A friend sat him down, a good friend, and he said, Jonah, tell me something. Do you have any actual evidence this plane will crash? Jonah said, no. Do you have any medical condition that makes flying dangerous for you? No. Then here's the truth, Jonah. You're not afraid of flying. You're afraid of a story in your head. Jonah cried, because for the first time, he understood. He wasn't running from danger. He was running from a thought. He did it. He took the flight. And here is the best part. He was sitting in his seat, high above the clouds. He looked out the window, and he whispered to himself, none of it was real. The fear, the panic, the lies, they were just pages in a story that never came true. He gave that speech. He changed lives, and he never let worry control his story again. So what is the lesson here? You don't suffer because life is painful. You suffer because the story in your mind says it will be. And if you don't question the story, you live inside it forever. You become the victim of your own imagination. But here's what nobody teaches you. You have the power to edit the script. You can say, no, I reject this version. I choose a better story. Instead of, what if I fail? Try, what if I surprise myself? Instead of, what if I lose everything? Try, what if I learn to handle anything? Instead of, what if they leave me? Try, what if I never needed someone else to complete me? Remember this, thoughts are not facts. They are just mantra, suggestions. You don't have to believe every single thought you think. You can listen and still say, no. Your brain will suggest fear. It will suggest disaster. It will suggest panic. But you can choose peace, not because the world is perfect, but because your story is stronger than your worry. Imagine this. Every time a thought comes into your head that makes you worry, instead of believing it, you become curious. You pause, you breathe, and you ask, is this a fact, or is this just a fear? Because the moment you question the story, you begin to escape it. You are the author. Don't let fear write your chapters. From today, choose better stories, peaceful ones, empowering ones, true ones, because the most dangerous thing in the world is not a problem. It's a lie you never challenged. And that brings us to a natural pause. Before we move to the next truth, I have a question for you, and I'd really love to hear your answer. We just heard Jonah's story about how he almost let a story of fear stop him from a huge opportunity. Have you ever had a moment like that? A time when a what if story in your head almost stopped you from doing something important? What was the story you told yourself? Please, take a moment and share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else feel less alone. Truth 3. You're not solving a problem. You're replaying pain. Let's look at truth number 3. And I want to ask you a question. A question you've probably never asked yourself. When you are worrying, are you solving something? Or are you just suffering again and again? Because here is a truth most people never hear in their entire life. Worry disguises itself. It pretends to be action. But it is actually just repetition. Let me explain. When something painful happens in your life, a breakup, an insult, a failure, a rejection, your brain records it. And instead of letting it go, it replays it. Again, and again, and again. Like a song stuck on a loop. And what do you call that loop? Worry. You think you're figuring things out. You think you're being responsible. You think, if I think about it more, maybe I'll feel better. But what you're actually doing is reopening an old wound, over and over and over again. And just like a real wound, if you never let it heal, it becomes infected. This is the dangerous illusion. Worry feels like you're in control, but you are actually in a prison. You are going in circles, not forward. Here is a powerful example for this truth. Imagine a wall clock in your home. It stopped working 2 years ago. You already replaced the batteries. You even bought a new one. But for some reason, you never took the broken clock off the wall. Every time you pass by, you still look at it. Even though you know it doesn't work, you still glance at it. You still get a little confused. You still feel a little irritated. It's not telling the right time, but you are still giving it your attention. That is what replaying pain looks like. The moment has passed. The damage, maybe, is done. But your mind, it keeps going back, again and again and again, as if staring at it will somehow fix it. But it doesn't. All it does is waste your focus, confuse your direction, and take you away from the present. Until you finally decide, this clock is broken. It is not helping me anymore. It is time to take it down. That is the shift. You are not solving anything by watching it. You are just keeping the pain on your wall. Let it go. Take it down. And move forward in real time. The insight is this. Worry becomes dangerous when the situation is already over, but your mind keeps dragging you back to it. It's like this. The fire is gone, but the smoke is still inside your lungs, and every time you think about it again, you breathe it in. And it chokes you, not because it's happening again, but because you never stopped reliving it. You cannot think your way out of emotional pain. You have to feel it, release it, and let it pass. This is so important. Thinking is not healing. In fact, overthinking, thinking too much, is often just emotional avoidance. You don't want to feel the real pain, so you distract yourself by thinking about it again and again. You say, "I'm trying to figure it out." But really, you're trying to avoid letting go. Worry pretends to be your friend, but it's actually your past, wearing a future costume. It says, "Let's fix this." But really, it just wants to replay the pain. So you never move on. You don't need another day of thinking. You need one moment of courage. The courage to say, "I am done thinking about this. I choose peace over understanding. I choose freedom over control. I choose me over this memory." You have suffered long enough. You've asked yourself the same question 500 times. You've played the same scenes in your mind, like an emotional horror film. But now you know the truth. You are not solving a problem. You are replaying pain. And every time you do it, you are not moving forward. You are just going in circles. So stop asking, "Why did it happen?" And start asking, "What do I need to heal?" and move forward. Because you deserve a life that is not stuck on repeat. Truth 4. You can't control everything, but you can control what you focus on. Okay, for truth number 4, let's step outside the human mind for just a moment. Let's stop talking about thoughts and fears. And let's talk about a laser. Yes, a laser. Because the way a laser works is the exact same way worry works. She works in your life. Let's understand how a laser is created. A laser is made by focusing all of its light into one single, powerful direction. A normal light bulb sends its light everywhere, doesn't it? But a laser, it concentrates its light in one tight beam. And that is what makes it so powerful. And here is the twist. Your attention, your focus, is exactly the same. Wherever you put your attention, you create power. You can focus on everything that's wrong, everything that's uncertain, everything that could go wrong. And just like a laser, your attention will make it stronger, sharper, and more intense. That is what worry does. It is the result of your focused attention on what you cannot control. And just like a laser, that focus becomes so powerful. It burns through your peace, your confidence, and your happiness. But here is the thing most people never realize. The problem is not the situation. The problem is your focus. You are shining your mental laser on the wrong place. Imagine a beautiful plant. It's sitting on your windowsill, in the sun. Next to it, on the wall, you see a big, dark shadow. The shadow looks scary. It moves when the wind blows. It seems like something dangerous is nearby. But the truth is, it's just the shadow of the plant. There is nothing dangerous. But your focus is in the wrong place. You are staring at the shadow instead of focusing on the real thing. The plant, the light, the truth. That is what worry does. It makes you stare at the shadow of the future instead of the truth of the present. And just like the shadow on the wall, your worry moves. It grows. It changes shape. But none of it is real. It's all coming from your focus. You can't stop shadows from existing, but you can stop staring at them. And in life, you cannot control every problem, every outcome, or every possibility. But you can always choose. You can always ask, do I focus on the fear? Or do I focus on what I can do today? Do I focus on the panic? Or on the peace? Do I stare at the storm? Or do I build my shelter? Worry is not the enemy. Your focus is. Because your mind can't think about everything at the same time. So when you focus on what you can't control, you automatically lose sight of what you can control. And the more you stare at the shadows, the less you see the light. So from today, don't try to control everything. Just control your focus. That is your real superpower. Truth 5. Worry steals time from your life, but never gives solutions back. Now for truth number 5. Let's stop talking about emotions for a second, and let's talk about your economy. Let's talk about the most valuable currency, the most valuable money you will ever own in your life. I'm talking about your time, because here is the truth. A truth most people never calculate. Worry is the most expensive thing you spend, and the return, what you get back, is always zero. Imagine this. You walk into a store, you give the shopkeeper 10 hours of your life, and in return, you get nothing. No solutions, no peace, no answers. Just more confusion. Would you ever go back to that store? Of course not. But that is what worry is. It's a mental shop that charges you hours of your life, but gives you no solutions in return. Now let's talk about something you'll never forget. A machine. Imagine you have a beautiful, complex machine in your home. It's your favorite machine. You need it every day. One morning, it breaks. You don't know why. It just stopped working. Now imagine, you spend the next 5 days not fixing it, not calling a technician, not reading the manual, but just staring at the machine, worrying. You walk around it. You sit next to it. You imagine all the ways it could be broken. You think, what if it never works again? What if I broke it? What if I need to replace it and I can't afford it? But you never even touch it. You never open it. You never take a single step. You never act. All you do is think. That is what worry looks like. You are not fixing the problem. You are just sitting in front of it, wasting your most valuable resource, time. And that is the most dangerous truth about worry. It feels like you're working, but you are not. You are just spending your time, spending your focus, spending your energy, spending your emotions. And at the end of the day, the problem is still there. Nothing has changed. Except you are more tired and more lost. Worry gives you the illusion of effort, the feeling of being busy, but it gives you no results. It is a fake job that your brain gives you. So you feel like you are doing something, but you are not solving. You are spinning. And time, once it is spent, it never comes back. If I am not taking action, then I am just wasting time. If I am not moving forward, then I am just going in circles. If I am not solving, then I am just suffering. Don't give your precious minutes, your precious life, to thoughts that do not serve you. Because one day, you will look back, and you will realize, I didn't lose my life to pain. I lost it to worrying about pain. Truth 6. The present moment is always safer than your imagination. Now, truth number 6. And I want to ask you something very, very important. Right now, at this exact moment, as you listen to my voice, are you in danger? Are you falling from a building? Are you being chased by a lion? Is someone screaming in your face? The answer is, most likely, no. You are sitting. You are listening. You are breathing. So, now the question is, if nothing dangerous is happening right now, then why do you feel unsafe? Why does your body feel like it's in a war, when your environment is completely calm? The answer is shocking. It's because you left the present moment. You are not here. You are in your imagination. And that is where the danger lives. The truth is this: your imagination is more dangerous than your reality. Let me show you how. There is a mountain in the Pacific region. It's an ancient volcano. For centuries, people feared this mountain. Locals believed it would erupt again, violently, destructively, just like in the old days. The government placed warnings. Tourism dropped. People moved away. For 10 years, they expected it to blow up at any moment. Guess what happened? Nothing. Not a single eruption. Not even smoke. But during those 10 years, fear did what the volcano never did. Fear destroyed lives. Businesses collapsed. Homes were sold at cheap prices. Tourism dried up. Children grew up scared of a future that never came. The mountain was silent, but people's imagination, it was loud. What does this teach us? It's not the mountain that is the problem. It is your mind's version of the mountain. Worry is the same. Your present is calm, but your brain creates a lava-filled future that feels real, even when it isn't. So, you suffer, you panic, you stop living, not because of what is happening, but because of what might happen. When you leave the present moment, you enter a world with no control, no safety, no peace, no reality. That is where anxiety is born. That is where fear grows. That is where panic takes over. And guess what? The present moment, right here, right now, is the only place where peace actually exists. You cannot feel calm in the future. You cannot fix the past. You can only breathe, right now. Whenever your brain pulls you into fear, ask yourself these simple questions. What is happening right now? What can I hear? What can I see? Am I safe? These questions, they bring you home. They pull you out of that scary imagination and back into your body. Back into the only place that has ever existed. Now, your body knows how to be calm. Your breath knows how to guide you. Your life is not happening in the past or in the future. It is happening right here. So next time your mind says, "What if something bad happens?" Answer it with this. Right now, I am safe. Right now, I am okay. Right now is all I need. Come back to now, because now is peace. This idea of coming back to now is maybe the most important skill we can learn. It's something we are going to practice together more and more in our future stories and lessons. If you are finding this helpful, and you want to continue this journey of finding peace and improving your English with us, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss the next truths in this video, and you'll be here for all the new stories we have coming for you. Truth 7. Peace is not a gift, it's a skill. All right, truth number 7. With this one, let's destroy a lie. A lie that keeps millions of people stuck. People think peace is a feeling that comes from the outside. If I had more money, I would feel calm. If I got the job, the partner, the home, I would stop worrying. But peace, true peace, it doesn't come from your conditions. It comes from your conditioning. Let's explain this in a way you've never heard before. Imagine someone throws you into a swimming pool. You don't know how to swim. What happens? You panic. You splash. You scream. You start to sink. Why? Because your body has never learned how to stay calm in the water. Now, imagine the same thing happens, but this time you know how to swim. What happens now? You float. You breathe. You trust your body. You move through the water with confidence. It's the same pool, the same situation, but a completely different result. Why? Because one version of you was untrained, and the other version had a skill. Here is the twist. Life is the pool. Worry is the panic. And peace is the skill. If you have never trained your mind, then every problem, every challenge, will feel like drowning. But if you train your mind, through awareness, through breath, through presence, and through daily practice, then even when the storms come, you don't panic. You float, you trust, you breathe, you survive. Here is a truth nobody talks about. Worry is automatic. Peace is intentional. You don't have to try to worry. Your brain does it naturally, to protect you. But peace, that is something you must build. Like a muscle, daily, slowly, with discipline. Your peace practice might look like 5 minutes of silence every morning, or writing down your fears in a journal every night, or taking 10 deep breaths before you make a decision. It could be disconnecting from the news, the noise, and the negativity. Walking in nature, feeling your feet on the ground. Present, speaking kinder words to yourself every single day. You don't find peace, you practice peace until it becomes your nature. Don't wait for peace to knock on your door. You are the builder. Start small. Stay consistent. Show up for yourself. Because in a world full of noise, peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And it is a skill you can learn, just like swimming. So, train your peace. So when life throws you into the deep end, you don't drown. You float. Truth 8. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Okay, let's slow down for truth number 8. Let's really slow down and ask a question that most people will never ask in their entire lifetime. If I have a thought, does that mean the thought is me? Let's go deeper. You are sitting in silence, and suddenly a thought comes. What if I fail? Then another thought. What if everyone laughs at me? Then another. I'm not good enough. Now, pause. Where did that thought come from? Did you choose that thought? Did you create it? No. It just appeared, like a pop-up ad in your brain. But here is the magic most people never realize. If you can see the thought, then you cannot be the thought. You are the one watching it. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness behind the voice. Let me explain this with an example. A mind-blowing example that will stay with you forever. Imagine your mind is a train station. Every few seconds, a new train, a new thought pulls in. You're not ready. What if this goes wrong? Everyone is ahead of you. You're going to fail. You can't do this. Each of these is a train. And it's trying to pick you up and take you somewhere full of anxiety or sadness. But here is the question. Do you have to get on every train? No, of course not. You can simply stand on the platform. You can watch the train of "you're not good enough" arrive, and you can watch it go. No argument, no panic, no fighting, just awareness. You observe it. You don't become it. That is the secret to inner peace. Most people don't know they are at the station. They think they are the train. So when a negative thought arrives, they jump on it. They ride it for hours, or days, or years, until they are emotionally exhausted and lost, in a place they never wanted to go. All because they didn't know. I can watch the thought without becoming it. This is the illusion of identity. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your jealousy. You are not your anxiety. These are just trains passing through. And every time you choose not to get on, you are getting stronger, wiser, calmer. You are becoming the master of your mind, not the victim of it. I see you, thought, but I am not going with you. I hear you, fear, but I am not taking this ride. I am not the storm. I am the sky that holds the storm. From now on, be the observer. Be the platform. Let the trains pass, because thoughts are not facts. They are invitations, and you decide which ones deserve your attention, and which ones you just let go. This idea, that you are the sky and not the storm, is such a beautiful and powerful way to think, isn't it? It's a message that so many people in the world need to hear. If you know someone, a friend, a family member, who is struggling with their own thought trains, maybe you could share this video with them. Sometimes, just one new idea, one new perspective, can be the key that helps them find their own peace. Truth. 9. Your mind was built for survival, not for peace. This is truth number 9. And this is something most people never hear, even in the deepest self-help books. But once you hear it, you will finally understand. You will finally be able to say, "It is not my fault that I worry, but it is my responsibility to rise above it." Here is the truth. Your brain was not designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. Imagine you are making toast in your kitchen one morning. You put the bread in. You get distracted. The toast burns, just a little. And suddenly, beep, beep, beep. The smoke detector goes crazy. You panic. You wave a towel. You open the window. The toast wasn't even burning that much. It was just a little smoke. But the alarm screamed like it was the end of the world. Now, the smoke detector is oversensitive by design, isn't it? It would rather warn you unnecessarily 1,000 times than miss the one time there is a real fire. And guess what? Your mind, your brain, works the exact same way. Worry is your brain's version of that smoke alarm. It says, what if you fail? What if they leave? What if something bad happens? Even if nothing dangerous is happening, even if there is just a little emotional smoke, your brain panics. It sounds the alarm. It screams, not because it wants to hurt you, but because it was built to protect you. That is the ancient part of your brain, still doing its job. So what do? We don't destroy the smoke alarm. We need it. Instead, we learn to listen, without panic. We learn to say, "Thank you for the alert, but I have checked, and there is no real danger." We let the signal sound, but we don't let it control us. This is the evolution trap. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors needed this. They lived in jungles. Every sound could be a predator. Every mistake could be death. So, their brains evolved to always assume something bad is coming. Now, fast forward to today. You are in your room. Your phone buzzes. Your boss texts you. Someone looks at you in a weird way. And your modern brain, it reacts with that ancient fear, even though there is no tiger, no real danger, just thoughts. Now you understand the game. Your brain is trying to keep you alive, not peaceful. But you are not in the jungle anymore. You are not in survival mode. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to say, "This is not a fire. This is just toast." And suddenly, the alarm becomes a whisper, and the mind that once scared you becomes your friend. Final truth 10. Worry is the opposite of trust, and trust is the beginning of peace. And now, our final truth. Truth number 10. Let me ask you something most people never think about. What do you believe about life? Not about your job, not about people, not about the past, but about life itself. Because at the very heart of all your worry, it isn't fear, it's distrust. You worry because you believe something deep, deep inside. I can't handle it. Things won't work out for me. The universe is against me. I am not protected. If I stop controlling everything, everything will fall apart. That is not fear. That is a lack of trust. And that is the core of all worry. You don't worry about what you trust. If you trusted your future, you wouldn't fear it. If you trusted yourself, you wouldn't doubt your every move. If you trusted life, you wouldn't try to control it 24 hours a day. Let me give you the final example. A non-person, universal, and unforgettable one. Imagine a farmer. He plants a tiny seed deep into the soil. He covers it with dirt. He waters it, and then He walks away. Now, for the next 7 days, nothing happens above the surface. No leaves, no signs of growth. Just silence. But the farmer does not panic. He doesn't dig up the soil every morning saying, "Why isn't it growing? What if the seed is dead? What if I did something wrong?" Why? Because he trusts. He trusts the process. He trusts the soil. He trusts time. He trusts the laws of nature. And he knows growth is happening, even if he cannot see it. Now, look at your own life. You plant your effort. You plant your dreams. You plant your healing. You water it with consistency. You show up with love. But after a few days of silence, you panic. What if I'm not good enough? What if nothing is changing? What if I never heal? What if it's all for nothing? And without realizing it, you dig up the seed. You interrupt the process. You suffocate your own growth, not because life failed you, but because you didn't trust it. Worry is the noise that comes from a heart that forgot how to trust. Trust what? Not just God, not just the universe, not just some higher power, but trust yourself. Trust your resilience. Trust your mind. Trust your strength. Trust your ability to survive anything that comes. Because here is something no one told you growing up. Think about it. You have already survived 100% of your worst days. You have already healed more than you realize. You have already handled more than you give yourself credit for. So from now on, don't try to predict every outcome. Don't try to control every future. Don't try to understand every pain. Just trust. Whatever comes, I will face it. With calm, with strength, with presence. And until then, I choose peace. Because trust is not weakness. Trust is the ultimate strength. And that is the final cure for worry. If you are still here, listening to my voice, then I know one thing for sure. You didn't come here just to watch a video. You came here to find something. Something that no one ever gave you. Relief. Peace. A way out of the noise. And I hope, with all of my heart, that this video gave that to you. Let me tell you something very honestly. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are just someone with a very strong mind. A mind that tries to protect you. Maybe a little too much. But you are stronger than your thoughts. You are wiser than your fear. And you are bigger than your worry. Let's remember these truths forever. Worry is not reality. It is a storm in your imagination. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them pass. The mind will always overreact, but you don't have to follow it. Peace is not a feeling. It is a skill, a practice, a choice, and trust. Trust is the bridge between this moment and the future, and you can build it, brick by brick, starting today. You don't have to solve everything today. You just need to breathe, trust, and take one calm step at a time. And if tomorrow comes with new fears, you will meet them with the wisdom of this video. You are not alone on this journey. You are not powerless. You are ready. Let the worry go. Let the peace in. And let your life begin again. And that's where our story, our journey through these 10 truths, concludes. This one was a real journey, wasn't it? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I am so curious to hear your take on it all. What were your final thoughts as we finished? Did one of the truths feel like it was written just for you? Do you have any lingering questions about why our minds work this way? Please, leave all your opinions, your feelings, your theories, and your questions below. I truly love reading them and building this conversation with all of you.